Okay, let's dive into the president and Congress's plans to fix K through 12 education, starting with what we can learn from President Trump's budget proposal. There are 5 key takeaways from that. Number 1, it pretty much renews his commitment to eventually close the Department of Education. The budget proposal includes his language from his executive order, returning education very simply back to the states where it belongs. So President Trump has kind of reiterated his belief that the federal government needs to step back. Budget requests $66.7 billion for the Department of Education. So you can see he is committed to this idea of winding it down slowly. Now, this still represents a 15% cut in overall federal spending for the Department of Education, but you can see he's not trying to just dismantle it outright. The second important thing to know is that Title I funding isn't going anywhere. Title funding is one of the federal government's main sources of support to local school districts, and it primarily provides financial support to districts that have a high proportion who live in poverty. Trump's budget proposal provides about $18 billion in Title I funding, which is about the same as it's been for the last 2 years. One area where there are some big cuts are the myriad of other programs that the federal government runs to support K through 12 schools. Last year, the federal government spent about $6.5 billion on a variety of programs to support teacher training, to support rural schools, arts education, literacy instruction, homeless students. All of that has been collapsed into a single grant program that's funded only at the $2 billion level. So $4.5 billion cut from that. Number 4 is special education funding, which is primarily funded through the Individuals with Disabilities Education Act, or IDEA. This budget claims that they're increasing spending for special education, raising the total funding to $14.9 billion. But in truth, it's actually being held. They've eliminated a bunch of smaller sources of funding for special education, collapsed that all under IDEA, and 14.9 is basically the sum of what that total spending was before. And the 5th main takeaway is support for college education. This is done in 2 ways. Number 1, the Pell Grant program gets some changes. Pell Grants are for low-income students, and they don't have to be paid back. Last year, the maximum amount of a Pell Grant was $7,400, and Trump's budget lowers that amount to $5,700. So it cuts the maximum funding a student can get. The average cost of attending a 4-year public university is $22,000 right now. The second major change is reducing federal support for the work-study program. President Trump's budget cuts that funding by about 80%.